Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, here to Sports Time HQ. I am indeed your host, Fernando. Joining with me today is my great co-host, Gary, and as well as a special guest star. You may see him all over the internet, but it is in fact, fantasy analyst, Marcus Grant. You know him from NFL Network. You know him from NFL Fantasy. He's the face of the franchise, as one would say. How are you guys doing today?
Good, man. Appreciate the invitation. Glad to be here.
How do you think of that hype intro for you?
It's nice. Face of the franchise. That's kind of lofty. I work with Adam Rank, who I would say he's definitely got some claim to face of the franchise. But you know what? I appreciate the pump up there.
We're asking. I got to ask you though, because we're asking all the guest stars that we've had on. Are you a morning person or a night person?
I think I prefer to be a night person, but I've become a morning person not by my own choice. I got a 6-year-old kid, so that has sort of forced me to be more of a morning person. But, if I had my choice, I would probably tend to sleep later than stay up later.
That's fair. But I mean, the 6-year-old now, you don't have to get up like in the middle of the night now.
I don't get up in the middle of the night, but he wakes up at like 6, a lot of times. And like, I'll say this, it's better now. Like it used to be that he would like just wake up and he would come in our room and like jump in the bed. Like now, he goes downstairs and he knows how to find like the Nintendo Switch or something like that. So like, eventually I hear him and then eventually I get up and I go downstairs and he's like playing Minecraft. That's usually what happens.
Hey, you can never go wrong with Minecraft.
No, he loves it. He loves it. So it's all good.
Have you ever played Minecraft? Out of curiosity, Marcus.
So here's the story.
Back in the day.
The Switch was originally a gift for me. It was a gift from my wife to me, but I no longer get to play it because my kid's on it. So like, but eventually I'm looking at games. I'm like, you know what? I think he would be into Minecraft. And like, I had very little idea of how to play it. I knew kind of what it was. And so like when I first got my hands on it, I'm like, I don't even know where to start with this thing. Like, I don't know what to do. So like I did, I think what everybody does, right? I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on how to get started with Minecraft. Yeah. Those didn't help me. What actually helped me, 2 things actually helped me. One was watching my kid sort of figure it out and watching him kind of build things. The other thing, weirdly, that helped me understand the game more, and this might make me sound like an old person, but was like watching the Minecraft movie. Like seeing Jack Black and Jason Momoa kind of like, navigate the world and do different things. I was like, I watched this movie in the theater and I'm like, oh, I understand. Like I get it more now. So like those are the 2 things. But now I can't get to play it because my kid always has the Switch. I can't ever get my hands on the thing. So, whatever.
What was your first ever experience with a creeper? Out of curiosity.
Honestly, the was sort of just watching him. Watching my kid play. Like I said, I started it because I started it on the creative mode. I'm like, I just want to sit here.
No, not the creative mode.
I was like, I just want to sit here. I want to build things, right? Like, I don't want to have to worry about housing myself from zombies and stuff like that. Like, I just want to build things, figure out how to play before I have to like go into survival mode. But like my kid didn't care. He just like turned it on survival mode and he would just like giggle when like, oh, like, he was slain by a zombie. And I'm like, that's not funny at all. But like, that was sort of how I learned. So like watching him and like, oh, he was slain by a creeper. I was like, oh, that seems creepy. But yeah, that was kind of how that went.
My follow-up to this is, what do you think about the movie? Because I've had mixed feelings about it and I've heard mixed feelings about it. Graphic production wise,
I thought it was good for what it was, right? Yeah. I mean, knowing that it was mostly geared toward kids. Like I said, my son is 6. I think it's probably geared more for like, I would say 8 to 13, something like that. But he enjoyed it at 6 years old. So for what it was, I thought it was entertaining. Jack Black being Jack Black, basically. Jason Momoa just kind of hamming it up and chewing up the scenery and that sort of thing. So like, yeah, like, I don't think I ever need to see it again, but it was entertaining for the one time I sat through it in the theater. It was good enough.
As a person, like obviously like doing graphics and production, like I could just see the green screen in the back, and I was like, oh, I was like, oh man, I was like, this is just, it's cringe.
It's not going to win any awards for effects or anything like that. I mean, they probably like finished the whole movie in like a week. Like it didn't take very long.
No way. No way. It was a low budget, I think. It was a low budget.
Yeah, for sure.
Gary, did you ever watch it by any chance?
I haven't yet, but I know a lot of my friends have.
I mean, I wouldn't, don't break your neck.
You're not missing out.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself trying to get there or anything.
Oh man. Well, now that we're off getting sidetracked, let's get back to being on point with the NFL, of course. And it is the NFL news and notes that we're going to dive into. And we've asked many people, the recent guest stars, ever since this news. But we want to talk about it with you as well, Marcus, and see your take on the couch potato dilemma. And it's Mr. Aaron Rodgers coming off the couch and going to Pittsburgh, saying he's got one more year left. Kind of what's your thoughts on it? And obviously, we don't see him much for fantasy relevance anyways.
Yeah. So on my podcast, on the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast, I had sort of declared a rule that we just weren't going to say his name until he signed. Right? Like just so much of the NFL ecosystem was just wrapped up in a guy who notoriously, especially in the last few years, has made everything all about himself and tried to just suck all the air out of the atmosphere. And I just wasn't, I'm like, it right now it doesn't matter. And especially for us doing shows on the fantasy side of things, because as you mentioned, he's not fantasy relevant anymore, right? This isn't the Aaron Rodgers of 5-6 years ago where you could expect he's going to give you 4,500 yards. Yeah. He's going to give you 40 touchdowns. That guy's not there anymore. So why am I, as a fantasy podcast host or a fantasy content creator, going to waste a whole lot of time agonizing over the will he or won't he, decision making, especially because we got to a point where it was obvious that he only had two choices. It was either you play for the Steelers or you retire, right? And so all of this, this hemming and hawing about, I think I'm going to make an announcement and I'm going to do this and that. Like, I don't care. I'm like, I don't know if you've seen the movie The Fugitive. I'm like Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive. I don't care. So, I just decided we're just not going to mention his name on our podcast until he signed. Then he signed. I'm like, all right, we should at least talk about it. And we just all came to the conclusion that, yeah, it doesn't really move the needle. I know the Steelers are, I guess they're pushing their chips in, right? They go get DK Metcalf, although they immediately let go of George Pickens because that was just a fight waiting to happen in the wide receiver room if those two stayed in the same place. Now they make the trade where they get Jalen Ramsey and then Jonnu Smith comes along as part of the package. So I guess they're sort of pushing their chips in the middle of the table to try and compete with the Ravens and I guess the Bengals to a point. But in the end, it still looks like a 10-7 team. It still looks like a first-round playoff exit, except it's going to come with a lot more drama when, in Week 9, Aaron Rodgers gets frustrated and starts subtweeting, Mike Tomlin on the Pat McAfee show and then decides that, at the end of the season, he's going to run for local office in Chico. I'm over it, I guess, is a long way of saying all that.
I think 10-7 is a perfect way, or even 9-8. I mean, that's just kind of the perfect thing.
Yeah.
Do you think he should have just stayed or retired at this point?
I guess. Look, if he wants to play, go on and play. I could do without all the other, posturing, I think is part of it, right? I don't, I love the statement last year with the Jets where he's like, we need to get all the BS out of the building. And everybody just universally was just like, you are the BS. What are we doing here? What's going on? And so if he just wants to go out and play, I'm fine. I don't need him going on Pat McAfee every week and making these cryptic statements and taking shots at other people. I don't care. You don't provide enough on the field for me to actually listen to all this other garbage. So if he wants to play, fine. Just shut up about it.
Right.
I mean, Gary and I have on this train as well. We completely agree with it. But someone who should have retired anyways, obviously back for a final season, but there's another guy that was actually retired and now coming back. And it is Mr. Darren Waller himself. The Dolphins are trading Giants tight end Darren Waller, or trade for Giants tight end Darren Waller. He did retire as a Giant. They're trading for him and also a 27th conditional 7th round pick for a 2026 6th rounder. Now, this also follows moments before the Dolphins sending cornerback Jalen Ramsey, tight end Jonnu Smith, and a 2027 7th rounder to the Steelers in exchange for Minkah Fitzpatrick and a 2027 5th round pick. Obviously, these are two trades that the Dolphins, I guess, were interested in looking for. We knew they were going to add a tight end after the Jonnu Smith trade. Fantasy-wise, though, Jonnu Smith was, I think, the tight end 4 last year. I mean, he kind of just came out of this world and helped the fantasy community, who could have got him in free agency for nothing, for peanuts, for a bag of peanuts. But what's your take on what's you guys' take on both of these kind of trades together?
Gary, I'll let you handle this one first. I'll follow you.
Well, I mean, obviously, just the randomness of it. I think with Darren Waller, at least.
So random.
I mean, I have a Darren Waller jersey. I used to be a big fan of his when he was in Las Vegas. But you know, his career kind of went down the drain when he went to New York, and I know off the field things happened. I know, you know, he went through a divorce, I believe. So I don't know if that was exactly why he ended up retiring, but I didn't even know that he was technically back. I don't remember the news. But yeah, and then all of a sudden I just randomly see that he's traded to the Dolphins with a couple picks involved. So, I mean, I don't really have, I guess, a take on it. I don't know if it will be, you know, used in the offense a lot. I think that he's still a solid name technically because he was, you know, still a good player when he played, but he hasn't really played in a year or so. So we'll see what happens there, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not, you know, I don't know. He's going to be another guy who's going to be pretty much free in drafts if you decide you want to draft him. But, you know, having sat out a full season, on top of it, a guy who had just been kind of in decline this last few years when he was still in the league. I mean, his last couple years with the Raiders were really nothing to get excited about. The 1 year he spent with the Giants was really nothing to get super excited about. I mean, when you look at it, there's really only 2 seasons that Waller was actually fantasy relevant, right? I mean, he started his career in Baltimore. I know he had the substance abuse issues that forced him to take some time away from the league. He kind of reinvented himself with the Raiders, had those 2 very good years with over 1,100 yards. But that's really been it. And so now he goes to a Miami offense that I don't really know what to make of it right now.
It's tough.
You know, I mean, Devon Achane, I think, is a playmaker. He's kind of a home run hitter waiting to happen. Tyreek Hill looked a little diminished last year. Jalen Waddle was sort of irrelevant for long stretches of the season. Like, I just don't know what to make of this Miami offense. And so, you know, I don't think Darren Waller is suddenly the magic bean that's going to, you know, shoot this thing into the stratosphere. So I'd be surprised if he's drafted anywhere. You know, I don't know. I can envision him. Here's the thing, because Biscuit's tight end is what it is. I can imagine he'll have a game where he goes for like 65 yards and a touchdown, and then, you know, somebody out there is going to be like, "Hey man, I need to stream a tight end. Let's try Darren Waller," and then, you know, you'll just have immediate regret. It'll be like, you know, eating McRib. You'll eat like that was not a good idea. That's what's going to happen with Darren Waller this year.
Oh man, I mean, I think. I know in dynasty leagues, I know I tried to pick him up in all dynasty leagues, but I think right now, if you in dynasty leagues have been able to pick him up, honestly, I think he's a guy that you just want to try and sell right away. Like, see what you can get for him, because he's still got the name. Is he worth much? Probably bag of peanuts.
Probably not. Like, yeah.
That's the thing. Like when I was saying my thoughts on it, I said the same thing, that he's still got the name. But when I say it back, I don't even believe it. Like, I really don't. And I don't know. I know I wouldn't be, and I don't know anybody in my league that would be like necessarily wanting to get Darren Waller for anything. So, I mean, I would just more so stash. If you're actually going to pick him up, I would just stash him, because
and if you can't get him anything, I think I'm liking now.
chance that he goes. Yeah.
But I think the thing is if you can't get anything for him now, or you do need a tight end, you need to hold him, see what he can do. Maybe, for instance, Tua can find a threat like we saw with Jonnu Smith last year and Darren Waller. Maybe you can trade him mid-season, get some value that he has left. And yeah, don't forget he's like the number one rapper right now out there, right?
Is he? I mean,
I
I saw that video. It was like, it was like a Temu Drake video or something.
Yeah. I've been hearing rumors that people are saying, "Oh, watch this be in like Madden 26 or something."
Oh, I hope not. I hope look. I have friends at EA. I'll have to write them and be like, please don't put this in the game.
Just imagine it goes into it. Oh. Guy comes out of retirement, all of a sudden he gets like endorsements, and EA's paying him for that song.
Although I will say this, I'm surprised that EA hasn't tried including a couple of songs from rappers here or from football players here or there. Like I would, I'll put that out there, that idea out there for free. EA, like try and find an NFL player or two that maybe could put together a decent rap song for you. You can use on the soundtrack.
No royalties. Marcus isn't charging any royalties for it.
I'm giving this to you for free. It's free 99.
Free 99. Well, of course, Miami did previously pay Ramsey $4 million this offseason. Wow, I can't even speak. They tacked on another $3 million to facilitate the trade, while Pittsburgh is giving Ramsey a $1.5 million raise, but they are also covering $26.6 million of his salary this season. And of course, based on Ian Rappaport, he also noted that the Steelers are giving Smith a 1-year, $12 million extension. Kind of transitioning for fantasy purposes to Jonnu Smith's side. Does this hurt or help Jonnu Smith?
I mean, it probably hurts him, but I don't know that it hurts a ton. I mean, Aaron Rodgers definitely likes to use the tight end. Now, I think there's an element of, and you guys sort of touched on it, Jonnu kind of, I think, played above his head a little bit last year. I don't know that he's necessarily going to do that again this year. But, I could see him, like, I don't think he's going to be a top 5 tight end. So if that's what you're asking, then yeah, he's going to take a step back for sure. Could he still be a fringe tight end one? Absolutely. I mean, I think the way Rodgers uses his tight ends and the fact that he still has a little bit left in the tank, I think you could see Jonnu be semi-productive. But if you're looking for him to be the tight end 4 like he was last year, I wouldn't count on that.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. That's kind of where I was going to go. I actually thought that, like, coming into this year, Jonnu Smith would be a top 5 tight end. I actually was building the hype myself for Jonnu Smith this year. But yeah, I think there's just way too many mouths to feed now, and we haven't seen really a Aaron Rodgers tight end be fantasy relevant in a while. And I think it's kind of going to stay that exact same way.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I was never really a big fan of Jonnu. Obviously, I got to see him on my Patriots for a little bit. That's about it. Didn't really do much with it.
By the way, that frustrated me because I liked Jonnu Smith and I liked Hunter Henry, and I'm like, I was like, one of those guys with the Patriots is great, and then they signed both of them, and I'm like, well, this is terrible. Like, I don't like this at all, and it turned out to be sort of underwhelming for both of those guys.
And they also paid Jonnu Smith a lot of money to go to the Patriots just to do nothing for fantasy. Well. Quickly on the cornerbacks, Jalen Ramsey going to Pittsburgh and Minkah Fitzpatrick going to Miami. I think this, I don't know. I just find this if I was a Steelers fan, I'd be frustrated because I thought Minkah was kind of the future still in Pittsburgh and they were going to keep him there. But it looks like just tables turned. They went for an older guy and Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I'm not a huge salary cap or salary guy, but I do wonder if there's maybe some financial reasons involved in this, right? I mean, I'm sitting here as we talk, and I'm looking at, Minkah's contract, right? And he's due a good chunk of money over the next couple of years. Ramsey, while he's still, I think a high-level player, I don't think he's the elite guy that he once was. his base salary, I think, is a little bit higher, but his cap number probably a little bit low. Well, not necessarily. It's a pretty big cap hit. So so scratch everything I just said. So I'm with you. I don't really understand the move necessarily. I don't know. I mean, Jalen Ramsey's a guy who can certainly be versatile and play a lot of places across the defense, a lot across the secondary for you. Although, you can also argue maybe he's losing the step as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a sound logical reason for why this happened.
No, this trade kind of was the same thing, just like random. I remember hearing about Jalen Ramsey potentially going to Pittsburgh, but not for Minkah Fitzpatrick 1-for-1. And I have a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fan friends, and they're the first people to tell me that Minkah has not been great the past few years. And while I may agree with that, he plays so many positions for the Steelers. So Jalen Ramsey, I think they're going to kind of expect him to do the exact same thing right away. And whether it works out or not, I don't know. But yeah, Marcus, you were right. I mean, this is just kind of a confusing trade, in my opinion. I didn't really understand it at all.
Yeah, and I will say this: like living out here in Los Angeles, a lot of folks here were sort of expecting him to come back to the Rams. I mean, that had been the expectation that if the Dolphins were going to trade him, he'd be coming back to LA again. So I think there was a lot of surprise and disappointment from Rams fans out here because, look, the Rams are built, it seems, to win right now, right? I mean, they get to the NFC, they get deep in the NFC playoffs. They really give the Eagles a really tough game before Philadelphia finally beats them. Eventually goes on to win the Super Bowl. But they go out to get Devontae Adams. They have a good young defense. I mean, with Jared Verse and Braden Fisk and those guys. I think everybody out here was sort of expecting that Ramsey comes back, solidifies that secondary, and then the Rams really make another run at a Super Bowl. So there was, I think, a lot of shock and surprise that it didn't go that way.
Yeah, I think moral of the story is the Pittsburgh Steelers are learning from the couch potatoes drama traits and likes to be in the media now. All to go 9-8, 10-7.
I mean, I do think that this is. I don't believe this personally because I think Mike Tomlin is a really good coach. But I think for Steeler Nation, I sense the frustration, right? With the, it's a lot of he's just trying to keep his winning record intact, right, that they're not trying to get better necessarily. I think he's a really good coach, and I always warn folks who say that, like, be careful what you wish for because, you get out
Browns fan.
You get out in that coaching market, you just never know which way it's going to go at this point. I mean, I would say I am, close to half 100 years old, and in my lifetime, the Pittsburgh Steelers have had 3 coaches.
Yeah.
That's it in my entire lifetime. So just be very, very careful if you run Mike Tomlin out of town. Maybe you find somebody great, or maybe you end up in that, that coaching carousel forever and ever and can't get off.
Hey, I'm also on 3 with the Patriots.
Must be nice.
Gary, how are you doing with the Browns? How are we doing with the Browns?
If I had to take a guess, like 12. I don't know.
You guys have had 3 like in the last few years, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Gary, if you had $1 for every time you had a new head coach, you might be a millionaire by now.
Probably.
But do you guys have any more news, notes, or anything from around the league that you guys have heard?
No, this is sort of the dead period. I can tell you for certainty that for folks at NFL Media, like pretty much when like June hits, everybody sort of flees to go on vacation because you got like basically 6 weeks from like June till about mid-July before training camp starts. So like once June hits, like that's pretty much the dead period. So yeah, I don't think there's much of anything out here.
Did you end up going on vacation at all?
Not a big vacation. The family and I, we packed up the car and we drove to San Diego for a week, which
that's nice.
It's not bad. Not bad. We got to, do the San Diego Zoo and lay by the pool. So I can't complain much about it.
I know Florio decided to go take a vacation himself too.
Where did he go? He drove up to Portland.
Yeah.
or drove up to Seattle. I think I know he drove up the west coast of the United States and went to the Pacific Northwest. Which, honestly, it's not a bad drive. I recommend it if you ever have the chance to do it. It's not a bad drive at all.
How long is the drive from LA to there?
Long. I've never driven all the way. I can tell you though, I took an Amtrak train from LA to Portland, and that was 30 hours on a train.
Wow, 30 hours.
30 hours on a train.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I've been in a car from Rhode Island to Florida. That was about 24, 25 hours. That's long too, though.
Well, so I would guess, LA to Portland's a little bit longer than that.
And you got to deal with the LA traffic getting out of it too.
Yeah, once you get out of that, you're fine.
Yeah, of course.
If you live here, you just know how to navigate that. It's fine.
That's true. That's true. I got to go there sometime, but I don't know if I'm ready for that traffic. I don't know if I'm ready for that traffic.
Well, wait, I mean, if you're like, I mean, it's bad, but like if you were in and around like Boston or something like that, like they've got pretty bad traffic.
Nah, I think Boston's problem is the highways because there's so many tunnels and everything that we're going through. And like if you're using GPS, you're toast because if you don't know the place, the GPS will reroute you and then you end up taking a wrong exit and you're like, oh, I got to go do another U-turn. Got to go around the whole thing. It's a whole fiasco.
Driving around TD Garden is horrible. It's really
yeah.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
From East Coast to West Coast, it's just a bunch of jams, traffic jams.
It really is.
But let's get into the main part of this show. It's of course the mock draft, and of course, Marcus, Gary, and I have decided to pick our own little slots. Marcus decides to maybe do a little plot twist with the 101. Who knows? But I think we're expecting to know where he's going to go. Again, this is a 1 quarterback draft where we have 3 wide receivers, a flex, and then a few bench. We do have a kicker and a defense.
Yes.
Marcus, I don't know your take about kickers and defense. Should they just be eliminated from the leagues? Or
no, I still like them. Like I like that random element in there.
Right.
My frustration is that like people who want to get rid of them do that because they're like, oh, we can't predict them. They're so unpredictable. And I'm like, that's the fun of this whole thing, right? Like, if we could, like, otherwise, it's just, I don't know. I fear that fantasy is just trending toward like quarterback, wide receiver, running back. Because I've even heard people say get rid of tight end. And I'm like, well, what are we doing?
No.
Like, I like the random element in this whole thing.
I agree because I think you can randomly in a week you can get like a 20-point kicker or 20-point defense, and it could just push you to get that win. And I think having that uncertainty is like one of the best things to have.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, I'm all for keeping kickers in defense. Yeah.
Same thing with tight ends. I mean, there's so much uncertainty. First 6, 7 tight ends.
I feel like the top 5 guys. It's like, who knows?
Who knows? Someone could be tight end 15 and become tight end 7 after 1 week. So,
totally.
But let's start this draft. Marcus, you're on the clock. You're obviously going to go for, I don't know, who we got. Xavier.
I'm going to be, exactly. No, I'm going to be boring. I'm taking Jamar Chase.
Yeah, of course.
That's it.
Barkley, Bijan going next. What made you pick Jamar over Barkley real quick?
Well, one, I just think Jamar Chase has the narrowest range of outcomes, right? Barring injury, he's going to continue to be a target hog. He's in an offense that, look, especially if the Bengals don't really improve defensively, and you've got contract issues on the defensive side of the ball. If they're bad defensively, they're just going to keep throwing it, and they're going to keep throwing it to Jamar Chase. So he just has the narrowest range of outcomes. The other part of this is, and this is sort of my hot take for the offseason, I don't think Saquon Barkley is going to return first-round value. I don't want him in the first round. The history of guys who have run for 2,000 yards, their follow-up seasons have not been great. I believe, and I have to look this up for sure, but I think there are 8 guys before Saquon who had run for 1,000 yards in a season. On average, their next season, they ran for, like I said, on average, about 950 fewer yards than they did the year before. The one caveat is that one of those guys in there was Terrell Davis, who only played 2 games the following season. But even if you take out his numbers, it's still about 850 yards difference between their 2,000 yard season and the next season. Right. So I mean, you say you do that. That's still what, about 1,200 yards for Saquon. Yep. Not a bad year, but also not worth maybe the first, certainly not the first overall pick, and maybe not a first rounder at all. So I'm staying away. I could look like an idiot. I could look like an idiot when it's all said and done, but that's my feeling on it.
I think Mauricio Gutierrez, who we had on the show earlier this month, I think also mentioned that he was kind of fading Barkley as well.
Yeah.
So, Gary, you're on the clock with number 4. How are you feeling here?
Well, you might know where I'm leaning. It's definitely not the guy that's the best available right now via sleeper.
Is this CD?
Just no, come on now. Really? The guy that could debatably be I think without a doubt would be the RB1 if he was the only guy in his backfield.
Yeah, I can't complain with it. I like Jahmyr Gibbs. Would be nice if Montgomery wasn't there.
It's funny because I've been a big David Montgomery guy for the last few years, mostly because I felt like their production was going to be similar, but Montgomery had the cheaper ADP. I feel like this is the year that I think I'm out on David Montgomery. I think this is the year Gibbs takes over in that backfield.
I hope.
Like it won't be fully Gibbs. It won't be like a 85, 90% snap share. Like Montgomery's still going to get work, but I think you're going to see a lot of Gibbs this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm excited for Gibbs season. I'm on the clock at number 8, and I was hoping maybe one of these 3 receivers would have fell to me. Decided not to. So I'm on the clock here, and I'm thinking of taking Puka, but at the same time, I just don't know. I just don't know if I can take Puka with the number 1 as my wide receiver 1. Don't get me wrong; he's still going to be great. But I think I'm going to take a chance on Nico Collins.
Okay.
Kind of intrigued on Nico this year. I think CJ Stroud's going to have a bounce back year.
The shoulder stuff doesn't worry you?
No, I think he'll be fine. I think it's going to be fine in Houston. He's got the playmakers. He's got the playmakers there, and they just drafted Higgins as well. I think there's a chance where he'll dump off a lot more passes, but I think the amount of playmakers that they have, there's no chance that he can't be a dud again. Not this year again. And QB 17, by the way, I think that's right now where he's going, is still criminal. I think he can still easily finish as a top 12.
All right.
I'm on the clock here, and I really want to take Brian Thomas. I'm going to be honest. I love Brian Thomas. My concern is just Lawrence in general, different coaching staff. So I'm going to take the hype train, which I usually don't do, and I'm going to take Ashton Genty.
There you go.
All right. I don't hate it.
Christian McCaffrey going next. I just don't see. Well, I don't know why Christian McCaffrey's going so high still. I just
really
don't
think
believe
that's high?
it. I just don't believe too much in Christian McCaffrey. I mean, I know people are going to draft him in second, definitely the third if he falls. I don't see a world where he can somehow be the RB1 again.
I don't think he's going to be the RB1, but I mean, I don't know. I looked at that Niner offense. They were just beat up last year, right?
Yeah.
They bring people back. They're healthy. I mean, McCaffrey has basically had a whole year off. He's still going to get an incredible workload. He's going to catch the football. Like, I have no problem with him in mid-second round. I think that's fine.
So you're fine taking him as the RB6 at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Gary, you're back on the clock here. How are we feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to draft another guy that
Josh Allen.
No, absolutely not. Freddie, actually, I don't know if you remember, but one of my biggest busts of the year and one of my breakout players, technically he broke out last year, but I think he's going to do even better this year, are both pretty much right in the same spot. So I'm going to go with my player that I think is going to have a breakout year. Again, some could say he broke out last year, but I think this guy is in store for an unbelievable season. I believe he finished RB14 last year. And the only issue that I have is the history of Buccaneers running backs. They kind of change like the wind. And I'm kind of hoping that it's not the same scenario here. But I think if Bucky Irving gets the same role that he got last year, and obviously a little bit increased, easily a top top 8 running back in this in this draft.
Okay.
All right.
Not bad.
All right. So I am on the clock. I got back-to-back picks here.
Back to back.
All right. So I know one of them, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my second one.
Are you a McConkey believer?
I am.
Are you on
I'm,
his hype train?
I'm one of lad's lads. Yeah,
Man.
I'm definitely. I've been a McConkey guy. I mean, since Georgia.
Me too.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna take Lad McConkey there. This is the one where I'm trying to figure out what.
There's a lot of options.
There's a lot of options. This is kind of a big pivot point here. So I'm gonna
RB.
go maybe. I'm gonna go against what I normally do because I'm generally not an early quarterback drafter. But Lamar Jackson, come on down.
Wow.
Lamar going over Josh Allen. I'm all for it.
I mean, look, I feel like Jackson and Allen, it's a coin flip. It's just a personal preference. I just, nothing against Josh Allen. I just like watching Lamar Jackson play a little bit more. That's all there is to it. So,
And he scrambles more, so you get more rushing ability.
Yeah, the only concern I have is that the touchdown upside isn't quite there because they don't use Lamar at the goal line. Where like Josh Allen, I keep saying he's been Buffalo's best goal line back since they drafted him. But yeah, Lamar, like when they get close, even before Derrick Henry was there, they just didn't use him at the goal line, and now they got Derrick Henry. It's they're gonna give it to El Tractorcito.
Yeah, give it to the king.
Yeah,
Gary, 3 running backs in a row.
I think I want to do it.
Oh, here comes Josh Jacobs.
Kyron.
I'm gonna go with Jacobs. But I'll be honest with you, I think the value for Jonathan Taylor is unbelievable at that spot. I mean,
I like Taylor.
I personally just am a fan of Jacobs more. But that is unbelievable value for Jonathan Taylor. I saw him down there and I was just like, wow, that is kind of crazy.
So here's my thing with Jonathan Taylor. If Daniel, I just don't know about the offense there, right?
Yeah.
And because if Anthony Richardson is there, that's going to just nuke Taylor's value.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Daniel Jones sort of helps him a little bit, but Anthony Richardson just nukes his value. So I guess it depends on who you think is going to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm on the clock here. I'm going to take a guy that I don't actually normally take in drafts, but he's fallen to the RB11 in this draft. And last 2 seasons, he finishes a top 7 back. So I'm going to take Kyron Williams. I think he can do it again.
All right. I need you to say that louder for my pal Laquan Jones, who is a Rams fan, but basically wants to punt Kyron Williams off the island. Like he just doesn't want to play him anymore. And I'm like, I think, well, mostly because he's frustrated. Like, Kyron had a couple fumbles, especially in that playoff game against the Eagles. Yeah. So he's still a little bit salty about that. And, he just, if he had his chance, he would throw Kyron Williams off the top of the Hollywood sign. Like that's just what he wants to do right now. I think he'll get over it eventually.
All right, so this is a message for Laquan. Laquan, believe in Kyron. Kyron is the deal. He's good. He is good. I was not a fan of Kyron. I'm going to be honest. I'd be on the train of booting him off the Hollywood sign as well. But you need to believe in Kyron. He's done it back-to-back seasons. Just go with it. He's good. He's good. You can trust him.
Can I just say, I want no part of Breece Hall this year.
I loved Breece Hall coming into the league, but I'm nervous that they might change him into a committee.
And that's put him in a committee, and then they're gonna have Justin Fields at quarterback. Like everything about this is bad.
It's a red flag. It's a red flag
for sure.
But what isn't a red flag on the Jets is Garrett Wilson. So I am all in on Garrett Wilson, and I'll take him.
I'll say this: I like Garrett Wilson where you got him. I think he's another guy that we sort of, the hype train might have overinflated him. I think now that we're a few years into his career, I think he's good. I don't think he's ever going to hit the ceiling that we projected for him. And again, The thing about Justin Fields, it's sort of like Anthony Richardson, right? Where you like Fields for his own value and what he does.
Yeah.
You don't like him for the guys around him. Like he's not going to elevate the guys around him. And that's the problem.
I think it's still going to help over Rodgers last year. Still, I think like it's going to be similar, little similar value. I'm
but again,
hoping
where you got him, I think is fine. I think
I think it's a good deal.
When we were trying to force him into like late first round, early second round, I think that was a little much.
Yeah, a little crazy. Can we just talk about quickly Team 6? Jefferson, London, Hill, Rashee Rice, 4 receivers.
Going on.
I mean, there's a lot of I mean, that could be amazing. Now I would be curious to see how the rest of this thing turns out, but there's a potential for that to be great.
There's a lot of good potential.
I mean,
4 running backs, Gary. Do it.
No, it's obviously clear that I'm going wide receiver here. Kind of have a little bit bias with Terry McLaurin.
Oh, I know where he's going. It's on the board. It's on the board.
No, I'm not going to go with the guy that you think either.
Oh,
I'm going to go with Mikey 1K.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
I like it. I'm curious to see if Marcus is going to take your guy then. I'm really curious, but we'll see.
What do I want to do here? I don't.
How do you feel on James Cook while you're looking?
I'm all right with James Cook. Here's the thing. I think I like James Cook more than the Bills like James Cook.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
which is always a
That's
problem,
true.
right? When you like a player more than the team likes a player, that's usually
an
a
issue.
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to take Blurg. What am I gonna do? All right, I'm gonna take Devontae Adams here.
Oh no, there it is. There it is.
I'm gonna take Devontae Adams here, and now here we are. So we got 3 receivers. We got a quarterback. We're in the 5th round.
You broke Gary's heart, by the way, because Gary really wanted Devontae to come back to.
I'm sorry. So I'm. This makes me nervous, but I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna click the button anyway on Amari and Hampton.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the running backs that were there, and like here's my concern is that Najee Harris is a thing, right? Najee Harris is a thing, and he's going to get the ball.
Yeah.
But I can see a scenario where Hampton, as like kind of the big play guy, maybe the more of the pass catcher, gets some opportunity, and maybe just maybe by mid-year he works his way into a bigger role with the Chargers.
I think that's the projection. I think as well for me. I think we're going to see the committee kind of together, Harris and Hampton, but I think soon we'll see him slowly develop into Hampton being the lead guy and just continuously getting the ball.
But I do think there's a very good chance that we're all overdrafting Hampton.
No, I mean, right now, if you're drafting him as an RB2, I don't see it being such a bad thing. Like where he's going at the moment, it's not so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But if he fell to like the 6th round, 7th round, could also not be a bad thing either.
Yeah.
Gary, Evans, you got Evans. You didn't get Adams.
Yeah, but I'm between 2 guys right now who are only 1 difference in ADP. And I kind of feel like they're going to finish right on the same spot, so that's perfect. I'm gonna go with Sutton.
No.
Yeah, I know that was probably your guy.
No. No.
Don't worry, you have a chance to piss me off too, so don't worry about it. But I think that he's gonna have a really nice season. I really like what Denver's doing. I think I think the acquisition of Evan Ingram was really nice too. And I think this Denver offense is going to be maybe not necessarily slept on because they kind of showed what they're capable of last year, but I think they're going to be even another level up from last year.
Yeah, I think I love Bo Nix and the connection with him with Sutton. I think you just cannot go wrong with. I'm gonna take another receiver. They're not the biggest. I'm gonna take my guy. I'm gonna double down, triple down. Jameson Williams. He's going to finish as a top
that's right.
12 wide. He's finishing it as a top 10 wide receiver alongside Amon-Ra St. Brown. That has been my bold prediction of the year.
I like Jameson. I don't have him that high, but I do like Jameson Williams this year. Like, but if this is the price I got to pay to get Jameson Williams, I'm not gonna have a lot of Jameson Williams. Like, I just want to be able to wait. If I could wait maybe 2 more rounds, I'd feel a lot better. Yeah. But if this is the price I got to pay, then I'm just gonna have to do without.
Listen, I just want to tell you a quick stat. The last 8 games of the season that he had, if you averaged it out to a full year, he would have finished right in between Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams as the wide receiver 10.5, you would say.
Wow. There it is.
But, add some rushing touchdowns, he would have finished inside the top 10, just to let you know. Right. I'm on the clock again here. There's just – I think I'm going to take a guy that I'm also high on because the quarterback's god tier, and that's TJ Hawkinson.
Wow. Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, time out. Wait, hang on. What? The quarterback is – wait, I just want to make sure I heard that right. The quarterback is god tier.
Oh yeah, you heard.
Listen. I'm all in. I was in on JJ McCarthy. I'm in on him again. Listen.
I really I'm down to draft. Like, I like Justin Jefferson. I would look if I was at the 1.2, I probably would have taken him over Saquon. I'm in on Hawkinson. I'll even, depending on what potential suspension comes, I might even be in on Jordan Addison. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't get behind JJ McCarthy's god tier though. I can't do this. I can't do it.
He's another guy that I have that I think could finish inside the top 12 quarterback. Marcus, we'll backtrack to at the end of the season when we'll see where JJ McCarthy is. Listen, Kevin O'Connell has done great bringing up quarterbacks with Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins. I think he can do it again with JJ McCarthy, and obviously they didn't go get anyone big besides Sam Howell. So obviously JJ McCarthy is the guy.
He's the guy. There's no doubt. Like I don't doubt that at all.
He's got the weapons too to succeed.
Wow. All right.
Did you believe in Sam Darnold last year?
I mean, I didn't think he'd be as good as he turned out to be last year, but Sam Darnold generally is gonna keep you in ball games. He definitely played above my expectations for sure. So.
That's a clip. I got to clip that one.
I think the quarterback 12 spot or quarterback 12 mark for JJ is definitely better.
You guys are just haters. You guys are
no,
haters.
I'm sorry. I'm kind of my brain's kind of messing up over this next pick. But what I'm trying to say is I think that spot for JJ McCarthy, top 12 quarterback, is more achievable than I think Jameson Williams top 10. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, of course. Jameson Williams is my big bold prediction of the year. But I know you're upset. Zay went.
No, that's not. I couldn't really care less. I like Zay Flowers, but the Baltimore offense despises throwing. Or Lamar despises throwing the ball. So
fair enough.
So that's whatever. But I mean, I guess I'll do it, right? Like
yeah.
I'll do it. I mean, at tight end 6, he's gonna be 35, 36 going into this next year. But if it is his final hurrah, then I don't expect him to go out lightly. So
I want to see where the slide would end.
All right. All right. So
Dave Montgomery's right here for you, Marcus.
Yeah. You know what? Here's the thing. If I had a different roster build going on, I might make that, but I because I'm already so on Hampton, I can't follow that up with David Montgomery.
I just realized I'm
followed up with another rookie though.
Here's the thing. I know a lot of people love RJ Harvey, and I think RJ Harvey is a good player. I just don't trust Sean Payton.
Okay.
I don't trust Sean Payton. How many times last year did Sean Payton be like, we got to get Marvin Mims the ball? And then on Sundays, he would act like he had never met Marvin Mims before. I'm like, what's going on? No, but what I will do here, because I do need another running back, I'm going to take Isaiah Pacheco, who, before he got hurt last year, looked amazing, looked great. I am going to take a rookie. I don't think I've taken this guy in any mock drafts at all.
Travis Hunter.
Bam.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Bam.
Interesting.
I'm willing to take the shot on him. In a mock draft, like part of doing a mock draft is you just do things that you've never done before, just to see how things turn out. The fact that immediately Liam Cohen was like, "Oh no, we're gonna make him a wide receiver." Like there was no hesitation. Like he's gonna be a wide receiver and he'll occasionally play defense. I was like, "Oh well, that answers the big question that we sort of had about him." So yeah, I'll take him here and see what happens. By the way, it's also the reason I'm a little bit worried about Brian Thomas because last year he came to life late in the season, but like so many guys were hurt in Jacksonville. Like, he was kind of the only guy. So maybe he does it again, but maybe he doesn't when he's got more target competition.
I agree. That's the only reason why I was scared drafting Brian Thomas in the beginning.
Yeah. I don't know if this is a hot take, what I'm going to do here. I don't think it should be. I already have 2 Buccaneers, so I'm not going to go with Baker Mayfield, but that's the quarterback I would take in this spot. I'm going to go with Bo Nix. Freddie, I thought you were going to take him.
Honestly,
with one of your last 2 picks. So
I like Bo Nix. I like Bo Nix a lot. And I'm a Bo Nix believer. But I'm liking some other picks.
Are you a Bo Lever? We are our show. We are a Bo Lever on our podcast.
I am going forward. I wasn't. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't coming into the draft, but I am going forward. He's proved me wrong.
Yeah, I'm a Bo Lever. I'm up on that trend. I'll go with the guy that kind of had some spark last year and kind of surprised the league. I hated when he was in Denver because he was always up and down, but he found a place in Cleveland, and that's Jerry Jeudy.
There we go. Love it.
All right.
I'm on the clock, and Gary, what college did Judkins go to? Tell me. And you remember a teammate that he played with?
Oh, you're taking old Travion, huh?
Yeah, Will Howard.
You got it. It's right on the money. I did actually want to go get Baker, but I'm just going to ride 0 quarterback here. It's only a one quarterback league, so I'm going to ride it. Take my guy that's going to have a bounce back year. Take him.
I am, actually, I think. I'm not going to lie. You kind of talked me into him. I'll be totally honest with you.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I will.
Yes.
I actually like the spot for Calvin Ridley, and there's a guy that I actually would have taken here, but I think I can get him. No, I'm going to get him in the next round, and that's fine.
Don't tell Marcas. He might steal it from you again.
Yeah, okay. Maybe.
Not really going to do that.
All right, so I got back-to-back picks here.
This is brutal. This lineup here.
I could use a tight end. So here's the thing. I think rumors of Mark Andrews' demise are greatly exaggerated.
Yeah.
I think he had that car accident last year during training camp, the preseason. I think that affected him more than everybody was willing to let on. But I still think that when he's right, he's the guy who's going to maybe not be the target leader, but he's going to get a lot of looks still from Lamar Jackson. And if the Ravens go crazy and decide to trade him, then I think he goes somewhere else and gets a lot of targets from whoever his quarterback's going to be. This is where it gets a little bit weird. So again, I say this is a mock draft. So this is where you try things, you see how things turn out. Like, I'm not loving the way the running backs have fallen so far. But
they're brutal.
So I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna take a chance on Caleb Johnson here.
Okay.
And think
you sound so upset.
I like
sort of. Well, I mean, I think he takes over the Najee Harris role a little bit. We'll see what Arthur Smith decides to do with him. I don't know. It's nothing about the Steelers' offense gets me super excited. That's all.
No, I don't blame you. Gary, how we feeling? How we feeling on it?
On the Caleb Johnson pick or my
No,
pick?
well,
I
that
mean,
in your
for
pick.
Caleb Johnson, I like that pick if he takes over the backfield, which I'm not sure if he's going to do right away, but I think he can, and I think he's a great talent. So that pick could work out. As for me, like I said, this is a guy that I probably would have taken a couple rounds ago. I think this guy's going to finish as a top 20 wide receiver and maybe even a top 15. That's Deebo Samuel. I mean, there's a lot of talk about him right now with, he's looking bulkier and whatever you want to say. But I think that him and Jaden Daniels are just going to be so elusive together. I think that burst from Deebo is still there. And, he still showed the flashes from his miraculous, what was it, like wide receiver 4 season or something like that a couple of years ago. I'm not going to say he's going to do that again, but I could easily see him being a top 20 wide receiver again.
Yeah, there's a chance. There's potential. I think Daniels just allows that for him to be able to get that potential. Oh, this is starting to get brutal out here. It's not a sexy pick, but I'm gonna go with Shakir. I think there's some sleeper potential with Shakir, especially in the 9th round. I think there is a potential for him to succeed.
How about Travis Etienne falling all the way to 10, huh?
Yeah.
I'll be honest. There was a thought of me taking him because of how far he's fallen.
I was gonna take him instead of Caleb. I'm like, that feels like a reach. It felt like reaching to get him right there, so that's fine.
I think if he fell to the 10th, 11th round, to like the back end, I think it'd be more reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh man, these are tough sledding here. I tell you, tough sledding.
Running backs are kind of scary.
Oh,
it's brutal.
Yeah,
glad I fired 3 off right away.
Honestly, it's fine.
By the way, this is also a study in how a platform's ADP dictates a lot of how the draft goes.
Yeah.
I mean, I know here obviously we have a lot of, auto draft teams or whatever, but still, if you're in a draft room, chances are not everybody's going to go scrolling through looking for the name. You're going to kind of cycle through the names that are kind of in front of you. Maybe you scroll a touch, but you're not going to go deep. I think this is how things work right now. So
yeah, I agree with you, and I am going to scroll down and take Jordan Mason. I think he's going to be a great handcuff.
Okay.
Team 5.
Scatterboy.
I saw I am a huge Cam Scatterboo fan. In fact, that's the reason, because I almost took Tyrone Tracy over Caleb Johnson. I was like, no, because I'm going to wait for Cam Scatterboo. Nope. So, damn you, Team 5.
Don't worry, they're also tough sledding on the running backs too.
Yeah, their running back room
Swift and Scatterbo.
Their running back room is pretty rough too. So
I don't know if I can get this guy on the way back. I can. So I'm going to draft this guy just because, I mean, they paid him.
Ayuk. Oh.
They paid him. They paid him, right? So, like, he's got to have some role in the offense. And if not, it's my RB4. So.
Just keep taking running backs away from Marcas.
Yeah. Here's the thing. By the way, Brandon Ayuk, I'm not. Why is he going so late? Because he got hurt last year? Like, I don't understand why he's going
I think they just
so late.
They did fantasy managers so dirty that, like, when you have such high expectations for a guy and they don't deliver, but they go under any type of performance.
I mean, okay, he had the holdout, and that was sort of weird. Like, are they going to trade him? What are they going to do? He held out, then he comes back, he gets hurt. I mean, okay, but like when he's right, he's easily a top 15 wide receiver. Like, I don't understand why. It's like everybody just forgot or whatever. Wow. If he had been there, I was for sure taking him in this spot. But he's not there, so I'm going to take his teammate, Ricky Pearsall. And then I got to get another guy on the comeback here.
You got Javonte Williams for running back if you need him.
Don't say that to me because you're just gonna hurt my heart again because I've been such a Javonte Williams stan for years, and like I'm finally learning to let go. I'm trying
to get back into it. Actually,
no,
I think there could be value there.
Nope.
If anything, I've been drafting a lot of Jaden Blue. I shouldn't have said that.
Yes.
I shouldn't have said that out loud. But
Gary, every single rookie mock draft that we did, no matter what round, somehow Jaden Blue would always fall to him.
Always.
Yeah. All right, this is what I figure out what I'm gonna do. So this is probably a reach, but there's no way this guy's gonna come back to me. And this is sort of so count this as a upside dart throw as well as a hedge against one other guy on my roster. I'm gonna take Colston Loveland. I think in terms of just pure talent, I like Tyler Warren better, but Loveland, a really talented guy who landed in a better situation. So.
I'm nervous with too many mouths to feed with Loveland.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. You got to worry about. I mean, there's certainly DJ Moore and Romo Dunze, and who did they draft? They drafted.
Kmet still and Luther Burden.
Yeah, I mean that's possible, but I think Ben Johnson's going to have something. I think he wants to use Loveland sort of the way they use Sam Laporta. So
yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess I'll take the best player available, a guy that's fallen due to, I think, how his team went in the draft. I'm not a big Matthew Golden fan, to be honest with you, and I think that is unbelievable value for Jaden Reed.
Right there is fine. I don't know. I'm washing my hands of the Packer wide receivers.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I get it,
but
I mean,
in the 11th round,
right? He's my wide receiver 5. If
it
goes sour, then whatever. But
it's hard to argue where you got him for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm still debating on whether or not I want to draft a quarterback or wait. And I think I'm going to end up taking one because I'm losing hope on trying to get something. But I'm torn between 3 different quarterbacks. Obviously, you guys probably know 2 of them. But I'm actually going to take the guy that, he's also...
I mean, you can wait if you want J.J. McCarthy that badly. You don't have to do that now.
I'm going to take Drake May. I think there's some value there. I think there's value there.
I like Drake May. I don't like Drake May as my QB1.
I also would not go with him over at least 3 of the 4 guys that are still there.
I'll do one even better. I'll take Mr. Marvin Mims as well.
This guy loves Marvin.
You should arrange an introduction between him and Sean Payton. they should meet one another.
Listen, they're gonna meet one another this upcoming training camp, and they're gonna really talk things out. And Mims is gonna finally get the ball.
My guy got taken.
I hope so.
Oh, he did. Okay. I mean, I was looking at Tajay Spears. I think that's a guy that so much, home run play type capability that alone can have him be a big contributor to that backfield. I think he could honestly finish better than Pollard. I think he probably will. I've been a Tajay Spears guy for a little bit now, and I loved how he finished the season. But I guess I'll turn my head. That's where I was going to go, and I did not see him get drafted. Yeah, I mean, this is the part of the draft, right, where nobody likes, of course. I mean,
Jaden Blue's there. Not to give Marcas, not to take another running back.
Hey, man, go knock yourself out.
Marcus is ready for this draft to be done. He doesn't want to talk about his running backs anymore.
He's just like, my running back room is filthy.
Honestly, though, Tutton isn't a bad take because of the fact that Liam Cohen made what we saw Bucky Irvin become.
Disagree.
My God.
I wouldn't say he made him.
All right, let's see who's out there still. Yeah, it's nasty in the.
This is crazy because this is still it's a regular redraft.
Times are tough in these running back streets. But you know what?
I think there's a guy I like that's a running back.
I've been rookie heavy in this draft, and you just mentioned him, so I'm rooting for Tootin. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna come back around, and just because, look, as a 49er fan, I know how 49er running backs operate, and as much as like I said, I liked Christian McCaffrey at that spot there in the second round, but also just in case, come on down, Isaac Guerrero, just in case, you know.
So. I like it.
All right, well, why not?
Oh, all right, all right, here we go.
Let's get started.
Game on. Let's do it. Let's go.
Game is on. My goodness. I won't go there just yet. I'll take a guy. I'll stack him up with Drake May and give me Kyle Williams.
You know what? I've done that in multiple best ball drafts. I've late. I'll take Drake May kind of mid to late, and then late I'll take Kyle Williams. So I don't hate it.
I like it. That's what I like. I'll take the next kind of best kicker, and that's Kyemi Fairbairn.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna say a name, and I want to get your guys' immediate reaction. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna look at your faces when I say this name, just to get your responses.
Okay.
Kyle Pitts.
Huh.
Nope.
Not falling for the banana in the tailpipe again, huh?
No. I was honestly out on him in his rookie year. He broke out his rookie year, top 7, okay, and then since then he just hasn't done anything.
I've been one of the guys who've just been like, I've been pounding the table for, like, finally last year, midway through last year, I let go of the rope. I'm like, I can't, because I said last year if it didn't happen, then it was never going to happen, and it didn't happen. So I they're trying to pull me back in. Like I hear quotes about how, like, oh yeah, no, we think he could be a playmaker. I was like, I can't do it. I can't. I'm out.
Honestly, if it's with the last round pick, I don't see a problem, because at that point he's just going to drop if he doesn't end up doing anything.
Although I'll say this, and I mean, multiple people have pointed out, I think it was Ian Harditz on Twitter who got a lot of run with this. His number of touchdowns have gone up by 1 each year.
Yeah, that's true.
1 as a rookie, 2 his second year, 3 in his third year. So, like, this year he's going to score 5 touchdowns, right? Like, that's just math.
That's just math.
That's just math. All right, so I got 2 picks here. I don't
know how you guys feel, but I absolutely love that for Rashid Shaheed. That value is crazy.
Yeah, it really is good value. I don't want to have to watch the Saints this year. Like,
no.
Don't force me to watch the Saints. All right, we'll do this. Cameron Dicker. One, because Jim Harbaugh likes kicking field goals. Also, the Chargers do a great job with the Dicker the kicker Pro Bowl hype every year. So, like, that's fun. That's fun. Let's see. And I know it's a 1 quarterback league. Did he go already? He did not. It's a 1 quarterback.
JJ McCarthy.
League. No, sir. Did
I must say?
Never mind. I was gonna like get Caleb Williams here, but now he's already gone. He's been long gone, so forget that. All right, so now I got to figure out what I'm gonna do here. All right, this is just to piss off you.
What?
That was just to make you upset. Sometimes you just have to be petty and spiteful in a draft, and that's what this was.
That's not what I was expecting. That's another possible clip. My goodness. I just was not. I just looked there.
when you have the chance to get a god tier quarterback in round 15,
Right.
you got to go for it. You know.
I mean, amen
Not
to that.
pass it up.
I'm gonna take him at 16.
That's
Oh man, man, I can't believe you did that.
Debating taking a second kicker here.
Why? Is this where we've gotten? Is this where this draft has taken us?
No, I mean, I guess I'll take the guy that's been a QB1 every healthy season that he's had.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, that's wild that he's still here at this point.
Right, exactly. That's
no, because I was gonna take him because of Marcus. I had to do an audible, and now my audible's gone. Guys, you guys are killing me here.
Oh, shuck.
All right, I'm going my defense, and I stuck with them last year. I'm sticking with them again. Give me the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick there.
Yep.
Oh man, guys, you guys really sold me here. Should we take Aaron Rodgers for the fun?
Knock yourself out.
For the plot. No, thank you. Who is left available? I mean, honestly, Ray Davis is a guy that I think, Marcus, you're probably going to take with the very last pick. It's honestly not a bad take.
I tried to get on board with Ray Davis last year, and the Bills basically shamed me for that, by the way they used him. So I'm done.
Pitts is still on the board. Do we fall into the pits of Mr. Kyle? Is the question. All right. This is so bad. Close my eyes because I don't want to see it really come off the board. But
that's not bad. That's not bad.
No, I laugh because that's the guy that his boyfriend is taking after. So.
Oh my God, I'm not a Sam Darnold believer, nor do I think he'll do that great in Seattle.
well.
But what's your take on one quarterback leagues taking two tight ends or even two quarterbacks, Marcus? Because obviously I know you did it here, but
I did it. I mean, I took two tight ends and two quarterbacks. Generally, I don't. It depends, what kind of league it is, right? Like if I'm playing in more of a competitive, like highly competitive league, I won't do it. If I'm playing in a more casual league, I probably will do it just because, a lot of people, like if you play, with more casual folks, they tend to take two tight ends and two quarterbacks, which means that the waiver wire is a little bit thinner. If I'm playing with, with analysts and other experts and that sort of thing, I won't do it because most of them are only going to take one quarterback, which means the waiver wire is going to be a little bit deeper. So, I'm not opposed to it, but it's generally not the way I operate. This mock draft notwithstanding.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm going to take a guy that I expect to explode onto the scene.
Oof. Oh no!
What?
No.
You guys like the pick?
This newcomer here, this D Waller. I wonder what he has to offer.
I wonder.
My tight end was stacked 5 years ago.
Yeah,
honestly,
it absolutely was. All right, so I'm gonna finish that. I'm gonna take my defense. I'll take the Steelers and call it a day.
I thought you were gonna maybe take a third tight end in Pitts.
You know what? I don't think it didn't cross my mind.
Yeah, by the way, we're at a point now where Darren Waller is being drafted over Pat. In 2025, Darren Waller is being drafted over Pat.
Womp womp.
Oh man. Well, quick recap. What do you guys think of your teams? How this draft went?
I don't love the running backs. I like my wide receivers. I'm okay with my quarterbacks. I even, I like the upside potential for the tight ends. My running backs are a lot of upside. So it's a lot of cross your fingers and hope that guys force their way into bigger roles by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then a god tier QB too.
So. Right, you can't forget about that.
Right.
Can't forget.
I mean, I guess I'll take the wide receivers that I got for firing three running backs in the first 3 rounds. They're definitely guys that can bust. I won't just shy away from that. But I think they're also guys that can smash their ADP. So I'm all right with that one.
Yeah, I like yours as well. I think mine. I like my receivers. I like my running backs. tight end, I think if I looked back on it, maybe not take TJ Hawkinson that early. Maybe even wait. I mean, Mark Andrews was a steal. I mean, Evan Ingram wasn't bad value as well. Tyler Warren was another guy I was thinking of. And then quarterbacks, I kind of panicked a little bit. I know I could have taken Justin Herbert, but I think I took a quarterback 1 round too late because I was looking at Jared Goff originally. So I think Jordan Mason's my outlier.
That's why we do mock drafts, kids.
That is exactly. You do mock drafts and you play Minecraft.
Right.
Oh man. Well, I think overall it was a pretty good show. Pretty good mock. Marcus, of course, it's always a pleasure having you on.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Make sure to plug in all your things if you want right now.
Yeah, NFL Fantasy Football Show, NFL Fantasy Football Podcast, twice a week, wherever you download fine podcasts. NFL Fantasy Live coming back again this fall. Our start date is TBD at the moment, but we'll let you know when it's there. Also, I do some side work over at Fantasy Life, Matthew Berry's Fantasy Life, and starting Saturday, July 12th, I am back on Sirius XM Radio, me and Chris Manzo, every Saturday from, make sure I get this right in Eastern time, 10 to noon Eastern, on Sirius XM, the fantasy channel there. You can hear us doing the Fantasy Life radio show, so check that out.
Sounds great. Marcus, it was a pleasure having you on. And of course, for everyone watching the show, if you haven't done so already, go use that code SportsTimeHQ on Underdog Fantasy. They'll match first deposit up to $1,000. And as always, we do our shows twice a week, Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern time, Sundays at 12 p.m. Eastern time. This wraps up our guest star segments that we've had the past month. We've had great guest stars, and we wrap it up with a legend himself, Marcus Grant. Of course, go follow him all over social media at Marcus G. And of course, my co-host Gary, go follow him all over social media at GD Picks. I'm Fernando. I'm your host of Sports Time HQ, and we'll see you all on Sunday.